Everything you need to know about alimony in Arizona. There are a few different types of alimony, or what we'll refer to as spousal maintenance in Arizona. Those are typically going to be either modifiable or non-modifiable spousal maintenance. And what that means, the sort of standard would be that your spousal maintenance would be modifiable, meaning if something changes down the road, if something drastic happens in your life, if you're no longer able to work, or if the opposing party is no longer able to work, there are different circumstances that could allow you to go back and change that spousal maintenance award. Non-modifiable spousal maintenance is a separate section where we'll look at spousal maintenance that is set in stone. It is not going to change. We typically will only see that in marriages of very long duration or elderly couples or parties who are unable to work, when you've got one party who is the sole breadwinner and the other party who's perhaps physically unable to work for the rest of their life. Do the number of children or does your income impact spousal maintenance? The answer is yes. In Arizona, the courts are going to consider a multitude of factors when evaluating what one party needs to pay the other party and for how long they would pay that. Some of those considerations that the court would look into are things like how many children you have, how long you were married, how much money each party makes, what you're paying for your monthly mortgage amount. They'll look at these varieties of factors, other dependents that you may have in the home, and the court will basically determine this is the amount that you should pay and this is for how long you should pay that. Now, Arizona also has something called the Spousal Maintenance Guidelines, which came out a few years ago. Those guidelines, while they give us a range and they're a little bit gray, they do give us some sort of an indication on where the spousal maintenance is expected to fall during your case. And of course, we're going to be plugging in those same factors, things like your income, how many children you have, how long you guys were married, your ages, and that's going to spit out both the number and for how long you're supposed to pay spousal maintenance. Your alimony not where you believe it should be? We can help. Spousal maintenance in Arizona is normally modifiable. Speaking with an attorney to determine whether or not your situation can be changed can be very valuable. I can't tell you how many times clients come into my office and they agreed to pay a certain amount of spousal maintenance several years ago, and now their income situation has changed and they're just not able to afford it. Situations where parties are behind on spousal support or where they haven't paid any spousal support and where they're coming in just looking for relief from that obligation. It's really important that you speak to an attorney before the other side goes and tries to enforce on you for not paying spousal maintenance, as these two things can be looked at very differently by the court. The process of modifying spousal maintenance is not that difficult. It's really proving to the court what your changed income is or what the changed financial circumstances are that would warrant modification to your income or to your spousal maintenance. It's really proving to the court that your income or your circumstances, your financial circumstances have changed to warrant modification of your spousal maintenance. In order to do that, we're typically going to show the court things like your taxes, your pay stubs, your bank accounts. And if it's sufficient enough to show that there's been that significant change in circumstances, the court can modify your spousal maintenance obligation to ensure that you're paying the correct amount to the opposing party. You might be wondering going into a divorce, is spousal maintenance going to break me? That's a question that a lot of our clients have. Spousal maintenance, while might not be comfortable to be paying that to the other side, it is designed and it does take into account both parties' income. So spousal maintenance, the intention of it is not to cripple one party financially. It's really to help both parties get to a level playing field after the divorce and to allow both parties to get back to the point of being self-sufficient. Spousal maintenance is fairly common in Arizona so long as you have a marriage that exceeds 5 to 10 years and you have one side of the case that can pay spousal maintenance and one side of the case that we would deem not self-sufficient off of their own income. If those circumstances are met, spousal maintenance is fairly common in Arizona. If you have any questions about spousal maintenance in Arizona, we have a lot of experienced attorneys in these areas and we'd love to talk with you about it.